after we went off the air, Deion had yet to speak.
Right.
And I think Deion did this expertly, because the minute that Jimbo showed up, like Scarface, say hello to my little friend, and just absolutely sprayed bullets everywhere.
Say hello to my little friend.
After that press conference yesterday, it didn't serve Deion to go do an on camera. So he picked up the phone or answered a phone call and spoke off camera. And you could put up the comments if you don't mind. Responding, he called Anscape and Jean-Jacques Taylor and mentioned how he hadn't spoken to Saban, and he said, I'm sure he's tried to call. And he said, we need to talk publicly, not privately. What you said was public. That doesn't require a conversation. Let's talk publicly and let everyone hear the conversation. You can't do that publicly and call privately. No. And that's what he said. I still love him. I admire him. I respect him. He's the magna cum laude of college football. That's what it's going to be, because he's earned that. But he took a left when he should have stayed right. I'm sure he'll get back on course. I ain't tripping. Saying he doesn't wear a watch, but he knows what time it is. Oh, God. I mean, when I saw those two lines in a row, I'm like, I've heard this Deion before. In parking lot, green room trailers, getting ready to do Thursday Night Football, going on about something. I knew he was feeling it. They forget I know who's bringing the bag and dropping it off. I know this stuff. I'm not the one you want to play with when it comes to all of this stuff. Once upon a time, the bag was just a bag. Now there's equity among the big boys. We don't have those types of bags. We don't have the boosters and donors and givers. Leave me out of that mess y'all got going on. And then he said what a lot of folks were opining about yesterday, including from this chair. Saban wasn't talking to me or Jimbo Fisher. He was talking to his boosters. He was talking to his alumni. He was talking to his givers. He was trying to get money. That's what he was doing. He was just using us to get where he was trying to get to. Hey, Alabama Collective, not any 12th man type contributors here, huh? Because Texas A&M's number one now. Yeah. We need to get going.
And I actually believe that.
I don't know. That might have been what's simmering inside, or he's thinking about. I don't think he went up on that podium with an agenda.
No.
I don't think
he's in a room full of his boys. It's one of those like local Alabama things.
People who can give too.
Right, exactly. Alabama boosters and contributors, friends of the program, and he's just trying to rile them up and get them all fired up and excited. And he got a little carried away, and I don't know.
Saban called ESPNU, or took their phone call on the radio. This is what he had to say yesterday as well, Mike.
I should have never really singled anybody out. That was a mistake, and I really apologize for that part of it.
There you go. Said he apologized for that part of it?
That part of it.
Well, he said that. Well, no, he did. But then he said, everything else, though. Everything else, he's not changing a word. Called it completely out of control, not a sustainable model. Talking about how he should have been more specific when I said bought, and saying you can buy players now through name, image, and likeness, and never mention any specific school, and just said across the sport, that's on me. But other than that, I don't have any regrets. He said a lot of people are silent on this, and some of it has been lumping NIL in with using NIL to pay players to go to school. But at this stage of my career, I'm not worried about what people think of me. And he also said that it's like having free agency with no salary cap. I said it yesterday. I'm like, there has to be some rules here. There has to be some rules here. There really has to be. So everyone knows, at least sitting from the chair, it's all on the up and up. And everyone knows what you can do and what you can't do. And there's talks about salary caps and what to pay guys and all that business. The person I'm eager to hear from more than anyone else, okay, is Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, because that's the guy, along with maybe Gene Smith, the Ohio State athletic director, and a couple other people who can get together and say, what about doing this ourselves? Because if we're waiting for the NCAA to do something, if we're waiting, as Nick Saban said, the federal government to do something, This thing's going to keep spinning way out of control, and we don't need a food fight on our hands. So what did Greg Sankey do yesterday? He told everyone to shut up and sanctioned both coaches. A public reprimand was issued to Saban and then to Fisher as well.
What does that
saying
mean?
hold on. Public criticism of any kind does not resolve issues and creates a distraction from seeking solutions. We need to work together to find solutions and that will be our focus at the upcoming SEC spring meetings. I'd love to be a fly on that wall because I'll tell you what, the answer is we need to do this ourselves. We can't wait for anyone else. We're going to do it here first, and maybe other conferences will see what their construct is and match it. And then once they match it and they're going to be aligned, then maybe 2-3 years down the road, it'll be just like, let's just figure it out. How about this? Ohio State plays Alabama.
Be amazing.
You know, how about USC plays Michigan? Right?
Be great.
How about LSU plays Clemson? And then suddenly that's what you got. And then just like the NFL, where you play teams within your division, a.k.a. conference, and teams outside of your division, or a.k.a. conference. That's the way college football is going to go. But in the meantime, I guess a Sankey slap on the wrist, right? A Sankey slap has been issued. Yeah. And our friend Dan Patrick, whose show precedes ours, and we'll see them at the Sports Emmys on Tuesday night. And in New York City, Paul Pabst tweeted out that they had Lane Kiffin all lined up, but Lane was told by the SEC, we're not talking right now.
Oh.
That's what Paul tweeted out.
Interesting.
Lane was all set up to appear on Peacock on Dan's show and his radio network. And then that's the end of that. The Sankey slap. The Sankey shh. Because it does not suit, I guess that was a name, image, and dislike. That it did not help the SEC yesterday. Let's not talk about Fight Club. Let's not do this. It's ugly. It doesn't help anything. And all we need to do is sit in a room and figure this thing out ourselves because we're not doing this anymore. And then once they figure it out, someone else is going to figure it out. And then all together, I'm telling you, it's coming. I don't know when, but it is. Because as Nick points out, it's like free agency with no salary cap. And I don't blame Nick for suddenly having an issue about this sort of thing. As he said, at this stage of my career, I don't care what people think. He's 70. He knows the next coach of Alabama, whenever that person arrives, will have to deal with a completely different world. He's trying to go back to the previous world while saying, I don't mind it if the players get theirs. Those days are over. They're over. That's what Jay Billis says. They're over. The sooner you realize it, the better it is for everyone. You won't have a food fight. Just figure it out. NCAA is not going to do it. And Senator Tuberville and everyone else in the federal government won't figure it out either. They're going to have to figure it out for themselves. And that's what's going to start happening in the spring meetings. But in the meantime, no more talking. No more say hello to my little friend in College Station. Man, Jimbo had his shot to just pull back the curtain. Instead, he strolled up to the line. He
kind of looked over. He kind of kicked some dirt on the line, and then
that didn't
walked
happen.
Away.
Yeah. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.